Hello everyone, JK Origami here, and this is part 2 of my Serpent Dragon tutorial. So, we left off with something like this. You should have 4 little flaps here. You should have these 2 long ones. You should have this one that's pointed slightly upward, and this one pointing straight back. So, we're going to start with, we're going to fold the wings down like that and lay the model flat like this. So we're going to work on this side, the one that's pointed up, and we're going to want that on our right side. So I'm going to zoom in, and now the last part of this tutorial, I told you you can go up to that little corner up there when you make this crease, but it's actually best if you don't. Like I also said, you see mine I have a bit of space between it and the corner. So what we need to do now is we're going to take this little edge and align it with this bottom edge there. So like that. And you have quite a few layers, so don't let them slide. Increase sharply. So, let's see, this edge up there is aligned with the bottom edge, like that. So, once you have that, you can unfold, and now we're going to lift up these 2 layers like this. See, you have 2 layers there. We're going to lift them up a little bit. Push this flap down along the crease, and find this crease there. See, it's an old crease. We're going to fold it back up, and once it's folded back up, squash, like that. You should have something like this. This little flap, you can just kind of try and hide it. Oops. This part isn't important down here. What we want is we're just thinning out the neck a bit. So now you can flip it over and repeat. So bring the edge down, make sure it lines up nicely, crease sharply, unfold, lift up the layers, tuck them under, and squash. So okay, now you should have something a little bit like this. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing to the tail. It's just a little bit different. We're just going to bring this edge down there, and again there are quite a few layers in some parts, so just be careful and crease sharply. See, mine's starting to slide. Okay, there we go, better. So now what we do for this one, we can just open it up, push it down, and squash. Or you could even sink it if you want, which I'll show you how to do that. If you bring it back up, you just reach your finger in the layer and open it up, and then reverse those creases, but make sure you hold this part shut, and then you just push it in, and you can use your other hand to help kind of reverse the creases, and you just, there we go, and then you can just squash it down, and it should look like this. This way looks a bit nicer for the tail, because you completely hide the layer, but for the head, you need this part. So I'll repeat on the other side, like that, and I'm just going to lift this layer up. Actually, you know, since it should be symmetrical, I'll do another closed sink fold. Okay, so once you have your sink fold complete, the model will look something like this. So, okay, this is pretty good. Could be a bit better, but now that I have the sink fold complete on both sides, the tail is pretty much ready. So now I'll zoom out again, And now we're going to work a little bit on the wings. So you can fold this one back up, you can fold the other one back up. But we're going to start so that the head, the neck right now, is on our left. And again, I can zoom in just a little bit, make it a bit clearer. Okay. So, in here we have 2 layers. 1, 2 on this side. We want to go all the way, lift up all the layers on the left. And we have this point here and that center there. So we're going to make a crease joining the 2 through these 2 layers. And the way we do that is you can put a finger or a nail over there and a finger or a nail at the other point. So from this point to there, so right there, lift this layer up and use your fingers to guide it. So I just need to fix that. And then you can crease it sharply, and then it should look something like this. It will not lie flat. Then once you have that, you're going to use this other corner as a reference point, and also this point down there as reference. And you're going to fold, so from aligning this point and that point, like this, and the crease should go something like right down there. And this top point will align down there. So, looks something like this. Something like that. Now, we're going to make a crease on the top layer, joining this point and that point. Like that. Crease sharply. And then you should be left with something like this. Now, to make the wings, what we have to do is we have to make kind of a rabbit ear. So, you're going to take this edge down there, align it with the center, or with this crease down there by the legs, like that. Now you see this part here will be sticking out, that's fine. This part is your reference. And you're only going to crease up to the center point, but crease sharply because there are quite a few layers. And then you can unfold and repeat on this side, which shouldn't be different. So you just take this edge, align it with the bottom line. So crease, but only again to the middle. Now that we have our pre-creases, we just join the 2, like that. Now you'll have an issue. If you're doing this correctly, you might have an issue where as you're pushing the layers together, the wing doesn't want to collapse. So you can just push it in a little bit and just keep going. And make sure you get your creases. And then it still might not lie flat. But then what you do is, you fold it over in both directions so that the layer is squished in the middle. Or, if you want, you can unfold. You can fold the layer down. And we have these 2 creases. We have these 2 down there. You can just make a crease from that point where these 2 intersect with the center. Something like that. And then crease sharply. Make sure you align edge with edge. But then crease sharply, and then you have something like that. Then you can refold it. And now you have this crease made in. Then you can just fold it off to one side and squash. So now you have a wing shape. If you look at it from the front, it should be something like this. You can maybe, if you want to adjust it a little bit, it's a little difficult to adjust just because this will lie flat. But if you adjust it differently, it might not lie flat. So now we're going to repeat on the other side. So just fold this one forward or backward, and then repeat. So this time we're doing the right side since the front is here. So lift up the layers, find your references, squash, and then make your fold from that point to that point, and aligning the 2 points. Okay, there we go. And then fold it up from that point to that point. And then make your pre-creases for the rabbit ear. And I'll do the other pre-crease this time, so fold it down, find the point, fold up, aligning edge with edge, crease sharply, lift it up, fold it down, And then you can use this to make the line. Okay, something like that. And you can fold it forward again, something like that. And they should be pretty symmetrical. It might be off by a little bit, but it's pretty good. Okay, so now I'll zoom out. And now we have something that looks like this. It's really coming along. So now what we have to do is we're going to work on the legs a little bit. So for the legs, pretty much all you really have to do is shape them to taste. But the only step I'll show really is the feet. So for the feet, for the front legs, actually I should zoom in. So we're going to focus on the front legs. Make sure you have the head up there. And we're going to focus on this top front leg. So we're going to fold this edge over a little bit. Something like that. Something like this. Something just really small. Just so it's a foot. And then crease sharply. Okay, so now mine's like that. And then you unfold. Open up the middle layer in the front, like that. And then reverse those creases, like that. And you can adjust it a little bit. And then you have your first foot. And then flip it over and repeat with the other front leg. For the back legs, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. But make sure they're pretty similar in size and they're pointing the same direction. So okay, there we go. That's pretty good for feet. Now for the back feet. You're going to fold them again so that they're about the same size. Fold it over forward like that. It's pretty good. It's about the same. And then you can unfold. This time the back, closest to the tail, should only have 2 layers, so find the middle. And this time we're going to outside reverse. So kind of pull this edge over, kind of make the 2 creases that we formed when we were folding it over. And there we go. Now we have a third foot. And again, you can adjust it a little bit if you want to. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, it's okay. So there we go. It's 3 feet. And for the last one, you just want to match the other one. So, okay, there we go. So now I have my 4 feet. And the dragon, if you did it really well, the dragon might already be able to stand. But if not, there's another step we can do to make it stand better. So, I'll show you that one later. Right now, we're going to work a little bit on the head. So, you see we have this, in this front part, we have this little triangle formed by this layer folded over. Well, we're going to make this crease here, kind of like that. And now, if we unfold, we see we have this line at the very top. So fold this back. We're going to just fold this edge right over top of this top line. Like that, crease sharply. Then unfold. Now we're going to open up these 2 layers up top, like that. And inside reverse the big crease we made. Big creases actually, like that. And then it should look like this. And then we can remake this next fold by folding the layer over. And then open it up. And reverse along those creases. So now we have a head that looks something like that. And now we're going to take this front layer there, fold it down close to a third of the way, like that. Now we're going to open up the head, like this, and kind of fold it back a little bit, like that. And then now we have more of a head shape. And then you can take this layer you have inside and kind of fold it over a little bit. And yeah, something like that. And then you can fold it, yeah, you just want to make this come out a little bit. So it's kind of like the jaw. You don't have to. I like it as a detail. Like, there you go, see? Now I have a little jaw. And then if you want ears, this one's pretty good like this. But if you want ears, just fold these two corners up a little bit. So, push them up. And then there you go. Now you have ears. And that's what your head looks like. So now, the neck and head are pretty much done. You can shape it a little more if you want. If you know how to, or if your paper is big enough or good enough, you can always add spikes along the neck. I'm not going to do it because this paper is getting small now, but if you know how, you can do it. So now we're also going to do the tail. If you look inside, well, actually it's not inside, but if you feel on the paper, you'll feel you have kind of a crease going like that. And you can kind of fold it over that crease. You should feel something, or if not, make a crease. The way you can make the creases, find this point up there in the curve of the tail. So if you're holding the dragon like that, it'll be right there. And then fold this layer over, aligning bottom edge with bottom edge. And then along this line here that you have, mountain fold. Like that. Crease sharply. Then you can unfold both and open up the middle layer and inside reverse fold the mountain folds we just made. Then you get something like this. Now what you have to do is we're going to make a crease along this line. We'll fold it down right along the crease, or right along the line, unfold, and now we're going to reverse fold it again. So just reverse the fold, and then it should look like this. Now what we're going to do is, this is a little bit of a tricky step. You don't have to do it. You can shape the tail some other way, but I really like doing it. I think it looks good. So we're going to take this edge. We have to reach inside the layer a little bit. And we're going to take this bottom edge and align it with the top edge. So like this. Kind of pull it, yeah, and make it align like this. It's pretty good. Crease sharply. Now we can unfold. Reverse the two creases so they're both mountain folds, like this, or sorry, valley folds, like this. And now all we have to do to give the tail some nifty spikes is bring this bottom, or well, if you hold it the proper way, you bring this bottom edge up to the top edge, and it looks something like that. And this layer, you make kind of a triangle fold like that. And then you have a spike. Repeat on the left side. So just bring it up, lift up the other layer, and then connect the 2 points. So there we go. And then you can kind of push out the spikes a little bit. There you go. You got a spiked tail. If you don't like that, you don't have to do it, but I think it looks pretty good. And then you can kind of put the tail off to one side if you want. Next, I'm going to zoom out, and I will show you how to do the wings a little bit. So if you have foil paper, your shaping will be quite a bit easier. Like I said, it probably already started to pay off. But I'm going to show you how to do the wings. I'll do my best. So we're kind of going to start by making a curve fold from that point to that point, so kind of like that. So just pull the paper down, kind of like that, and then sort of just use your nail and crease. There we go. Now we've got crease like that. And then you can kind of bend the wing a little bit along the crease, and then it should, if you have foil especially, it should look something like that. And then if you want, you can just end it there, and there's your wing. Like if you're using small paper, like mine is pretty small, and the dragon I had was pretty small too, you can just stop there. Or you can unfold this, and then make a few pleats like this. You just make a crease, and make a crease very close to it, like that. And then repeat a little further down the model, like that. And then if you have bigger paper, you can do it a bit more. I'm going to try to get one more. Okay. Yeah, there's quite a few layers, so it gets a bit tricky. And then you can remake that fold with the new layers. Yeah, my paper's not good for this. Then you get a pretty nifty looking wing, something like that. So I'm just going to do for the other side, I'm just going to do the line, the curve line. Yeah, there we go. So you can just fold it over, make the curve, and there you go, you got another wing. So, yeah, I'm just going to unfold those pleats. I really don't like the way it works on this paper. So I'm going to remake my other folds. Okay, so there we go. Now I have two pretty similar looking wings. And now, really one of the last steps, you like, don't get me wrong, you could shape the tail to have little spikes and the neck to be a bit shorter or longer if you want. You can make the head a bit smaller or whatever. But I'm just going to show you how to finalize the legs so that you can adjust them easily to make it stand. So to start, I'll zoom in. Okay. So you're going to make a bit of a curve fold on the front edge of this front leg. So like that. Okay. And then at the back, you want to make a small crease from somewhere near the bottom of the foot to somewhere near the top. So just something like that. There we go. Mine's a little bit bent. That's okay. In fact, it's a bit better because it gives the leg some more shape. But then just make that bent crease again. And there you go. You got a leg finished. And then flip the model over and work on the next front leg. So you want to try to make them look as similar as possible. Okay, so now I'm just going to finalize this. And then you could always repeat with the back creases if you have to. And the back legs are pretty good. So I'm not going to do them right now, but I can give them a quick squish fold. And maybe fold them back a little bit. There you go. And then if you push them out to the side a little bit, and push them forward and backward a little bit, then you can get a dragon that will stand. See, there we go, I got it to stand. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, this model, as much as I did. Please click on the like button and subscribe to my channel for more cool creations. And I genuinely really hope that you're good with, that you can shape this model okay and that you have the right paper. So yeah, thanks for watching and enjoy.